Hello! Today we will show you how to make colorful fireworks using the new particle system in Cinema 4D 2026. First, let's simulate the fireworks shells rising. Create a basic emitter by opening the Simulate menu, selecting Emitters and clicking on Basic Emitter. Go to the Coordinates tab and set the RP to 90 degrees to make the emitter emits upwards. Go to the Emission tab, increase the size X to 300 cm, reduce the rate to 2 to make the emitter emit 2 particles per second, and adjust the default camera so that the emitter is at the bottom of the viewport. Extend the timeline to 300 frames and press the Play Forwards button. Stop the animation and go to the start of the timeline. Now let's make particles emit other particles, thus creating explosions, after reaching a lifetime of 30 frames. For this, create a condition object by opening the Simulate menu, selecting Conditions and clicking on Condition. Make the condition a child of the particle group which was created together with the basic emitter. Go to the Condition tab of the condition object. Make sure that the condition property is set to H, the comparison is set to greater than, and the value is set to 30 frames. And reduce the chance property to 20% so that the particles do not explode immediately after 30 frames from release, but within some frames. Create a Reproduce emitter by opening the Simulate menu, selecting Emitters and clicking on Reproduce. Then make the Reproduce a child of the condition to turn on the Reproduce emitter after the condition is met. Let's set up the Reproduce emitter. To do this, go to the Reproduction tab of the Reproduce object. Increase the count to 500 to make each particle emits 500 new particles. And check the Kill Source box so that the original particles disappear after the release of reproduced particles. Go to the Properties tab, check the Limited box in the Lifetime section, set the Expectation property to 20 frames, click on the arrow to the left of the expectation to open the Variance property, set the variance to 10 so that each reproduced particle exists for a random number of frames between 10, it's 20 minus 10, and 30, it's 20 plus 10, and reduce the speed to 40 centimeters. Press the Play Forwards button. Stop the animation and go to the start of the timeline. To make reproduced particles fall down under the force of gravity, create the Gravity object by opening the Simulate menu, selecting Forces and clicking on Gravity. Make the gravity a child of the particle group 1, which was created together with the Reproduce emitter. Go to the Object tab of the gravity and set the acceleration due to gravity to 40 centimeters. Test the animation. Now let's create the stars of the fireworks and link them to the reproduced particles. For this, create a sphere and reduce its radius to 1 centimeter. Create a cloner and make the sphere a child of the cloner. Select the cloner in the Object Manager, go to the Object tab, change the mode to Object, and drag and drop the particle group 1 from the Object Manager into the Object field. To make the clones have different colors, select the Reproduce emitter in the Object Manager, go to the Properties tab, expand the Color section, switch the sample mode to Random, press the Load Preset button and select Full Colors Gradient. Test the animation. Let's set up particle tracing to trace the movement of the particles and create spline trails. To do this, select the particle group 1 and create the tracer by clicking on the cloner icon and choosing Tracer from the pop-up palette. Go to the Object tab of the tracer, and switch the limit property to from end, so that the moving particles drag a spline trails behind them. Set the amount property that determines the length of the trails to 4 frames and set the variance to 1, so that the length of the trails varies from 3 to 5 frames. Open the Edit menu, click Scene Settings, go to the Simulation tab, then go to the Scene tab and check the Simulate Before Generators box to make the trails stick to the spheres. Test the animation. Now let's create 3D objects by sweeping a profile spline along spline trails. Create a circle spline. Go to the Object tab and reduce the radius to 0.5 centimeters. This will be the profile spline. Create a sweep generator and make the circle and tracer the children of the sweep generator, so that the circle is located above the tracer. Test the animation. Let's make 3D object colorful, based on colors defined in Colors section of the Reproduce emitter, so that 3D objects repeats the colors of the corresponding stars. For this, right-click on the sweep in the Object Manager, select Other Tags, and click on Vertex Color. Select the Vertex Color tag that appeared to the right of the sweep in the Object Manager. Go to the Fields tab and drag and drop the particle group 1 from the Object Manager into the Fields field. To make the colors of 3D objects visible after rendering, using standard or physical renderer, create a material by opening the Material Manager and clicking on the New Default Material Plus logo. Open the material editor of the newly created material by double-clicking on the material preview in the Material Manager. Select Color Channel. Click on the small triangle to the right of the texture. Select Effects and click on Vertex Map. Press the Vertex Map button to open the Vertex Map properties and drag and drop the Vertex Map tag of the sweep into the Vertex Map field. Close the Material Editor, apply the material to the sweep, and close the Material Manager. Finally, press the Play Forwards button. This is what we got after rendering. Thank you for your attention, subscribe to the channel and put your finger up.